Welcome to The Explainer, where we take big, complex ideas and break them down into something you can actually use. Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that'll make your head spin. $16 billion. That's what cybercrime is projected to cost the US this year alone. That number is up over 30%. And believe me, it has the attention of every single leader out there. But here's the kicker. What if I told you the biggest threat isn't some super hacker in a dark room launching some crazy, sophisticated attack? Nope. The vast majority of these breaches, they come down to simple human failure. Misconfigured systems, mishandled data, or just clicking on that one bad link. And that is the critical question for any leader today, right? If people are the weakest link, then fixing that link is where you can make the biggest difference. But spoiler alert, the answer isn't just another boring training session or writing stricter rules. It's something much, much deeper. So, we start by zooming out. Forget about just stopping one person from making one mistake. The real goal is to build a collective defense, to create a culture where every single person, acts as a line of defense. A kind of human firewall. For years, the go-to solution was awareness training. Just tell people about the dangers and they'll be safe, right? Well, the research is pretty clear. Knowing about a threat and actually changing what you do in the heat of the moment are two totally different things. A truly secure company doesn't just have aware employees. It has a culture that's built on consistent, secure behaviors. So how do you actually build a culture like that? Well, there's this really powerful framework used by folks in law enforcement and the military called Needard's Core Motives Model. And the key thing here is it's not about forcing people or tricking them. It's a guide to ethically influencing people so they want to act, which is really the only way to make change that sticks. The model breaks down into 3 simple but super powerful stages. First, you have to connect with people on a human level. They need to feel like you're on their team. Then you reduce their uncertainty. You give them clear guidance and show them that others are doing it too. And only after those 2 things are in place can you actually inspire them to take action. And this isn't just theory. Check this out. Researchers watched 2 managers roll out the exact same cybersecurity program. The manager who was warm, who was approachable, who actually took time for questions, they saw way, way higher adoption. The other manager, who was cold and basically said, "This is happening, deal with it," saw much, much lower buy-in. Connection always comes first. And this idea is making huge waves in the corporate world too. Listen to Adam Holton, the chief people officer at GE Healthcare. He says the secret sauce to their amazing culture is translating those big, fuzzy values into concrete, observable behaviors. Once you can define what being secure actually looks like every day, then you can hire for it, train for it, and even reward it. So, taking a page from the U.S. Marines, of all places, Holton's team used these 4 principles. It's all about building a system where doing the right thing just feels natural. You define your values as actions, you train people for how to apply them in the real world, you hire folks who already get it, and, this is a big one, you simplify things so the secure choice is the easy choice. Okay, so let's build on that. Having a strong security culture protects your company from the inside. That's huge. But a truly great tech culture looks outward. It embraces a much bigger, broader mission, the responsibility to protect society itself. Yeah, being a real leader in tech these days means looking beyond just your own internal risks. You've got to have a complete view of the external impact of your technology. From the energy you're using to the biases you might be accidentally building into your systems, this is a huge shift, and experts are calling it responsible computing. And what's so powerful here is how this framework takes a big, fuzzy idea like responsibility and makes it tangible. It gives you 6 concrete pillars to focus on. It forces leaders to think about everything, from the carbon footprint of their data centers all the way to the ethical fairness of their AI. It turns a vague concept into an actual checklist. And trust me, the stakes could not be higher. Let's just pick one of those pillars. Data centers. Right now, they use about 1% of the world's electricity. But get this, the International Energy Agency projects that in a little over a decade, that number could rocket up to over 20%. That is a massive deal for the planet. So, you see what's happening? A framework like this fundamentally changes the questions leaders have to ask. It's not good enough anymore to just ask, can we build this technology? The new, much more important question is, should we? That shift from technical possibility to ethical responsibility, that's the core of modern tech leadership. So, you've got a human-centered culture and a framework for responsibility. That's fantastic. But how do you make it real? How do you make it stick and last? You need a blueprint. And in the IT world, that blueprint is called governance. Now, I know IT governance sounds a little stuffy, maybe a little boring, but really, it's just the rule book for how you make decisions. It's the structure that takes all those good intentions we were just talking about, like security behaviors and responsible computing, and turns them into reliable, repeatable processes you can count on. And you can think of governance as having two sides of the same coin. On one side, you have IT governance, which is focused on the big picture. Are we investing in the right tech to be innovative? Then, on the other side, you have data governance. That's more specific. Are we using our data ethically, securely, and legally? You absolutely have to have both. And here is the key insight from recent research, so listen up. Just having one piece of this puzzle, a committee here, a policy there, it's not enough. It doesn't actually drive real change, especially on big issues like sustainability. The data shows that only an integrated system, where your policies, your committees, and your strategy are all locked in and working together, actually improves performance. Okay, let's pull all these ideas together now. Let's connect the dots and see how this whole picture comes together, from a single mouse click all the way up to the boardroom. Think about it. This whole journey started with a single human error, one person clicking a bad link. But to truly fix that one mistake, you need a strong behavior-based culture. To guide that culture, you need a framework for responsibility. And to make any of that last, you need an integrated system of governance. It's all one deeply interconnected system. So we'll leave you with this one final thought. When you look at your own organization's technology, your security rules, your AI systems, your data policies, ask yourself a simple question. Is this stuff designed around the rigid, perfect logic of a machine, or is it designed around the complex, brilliant, and sometimes fallible nature of the humans who have to use it every single day?